I'm Professor Rad, and in this video, we'll be talking about decimal place values. So in the videos so far, we've been talking about the whole numbers and the natural numbers. So remember that the whole numbers are basically any numbers you would use in counting and also zeros. So they are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So far, the numbers we've been looking at haven't involved a decimal point. So in this video, we're going to explore those. So those are called the real numbers. So we'll start out with a definition. The set of real numbers is the set of all decimal numbers. So if it's a decimal, that means it's going to be a real number. So let's see how place values with decimals work compared to whole numbers. So we're going to start out reviewing the whole number place values of a number. So remember, when you have a whole number, the place value all the way to the right is the ones place. And that's followed by the tens and the hundreds. And then we're going to have this pattern of repeating 1, 10, 100, 1, 10, 100, 1, 10, 100, followed by the period name. So this is our ones period. We don't repeat ones afterwards. But starting with the thousands, we'll have 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and then 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, and so on. So this one only goes up to the thousands period. So we're just going to start out with 1,000s. And this one is the 10,000s. And then the one here is in the 100,000s. And then lastly, just to remind you that after the ones period, so in the thousands, the millions, the billions, and so on, in the one whatever place, we don't always say the one. So for example, here where we have 1,000s, we could also just call that the thousands place. So those are whole number place values that we talked about before. Now we're going to compare that to our decimal number place values. But before we get there, I want to talk about this money I wrote on the board here. So if we have $25, we can label our place values here. So the 5 is in the ones place. And the 2 for 20 is in the tens place. So the reason I wrote $25 here is because sometimes you see $25 written as a whole number, and other times you might see $25 written as a decimal number. So often with money, you might also see it written 25.00. So the reason we want to look at this is because that ones place doesn't move. So when you have a decimal point, the ones place is the place immediately to the left of the decimal point. And identifying the ones place of a number is super important because the ones place is going to be kind of like our anchor where all our place values are counted from. So I'm going to circle in this 5 here along with the decimal point to remind me the number immediately to the left of the decimal point is going to be the ones place. So when you have a decimal number, look for the decimal point, and the digit that's immediately to the left of that decimal point is going to be the ones place. So if I wanted to rewrite this whole number using a decimal point, the decimal point would be on the right-hand side. So this decimal point here kind of corresponds to the idea of the decimal point being there. Once you have your ones place value in place, it's going to be kind of like a mirror. So the ones place is like a mirror in a decimal. So what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of moving to the left, we'll be moving to the right. And we're going to mirror what these place values are. So one spot to the left is the tens place of a whole number. On a decimal number, that's going to be the tenths. So with a THS now instead of just an S. 2 spots to the left of the ones place was the hundreds in a whole number. So now this is going to be the hundredths. And so on. So here we have the thousands. This is going to be the thousandths. Next came the 10,000s. So this will be the 10,000ths. And lastly, we had 100,000s. So this last digit here is in the 100,000ths. So with our decimal place values, they're the same as the whole number place values, except we're going to be moving to the right instead of moving to the left. And instead of ending just in S's, they're going to end in THS's. So that's where you want to be careful. It's easy to say, oh, what's the, I'm in the hundredths place, and mean the hundreds place instead of the hundredths. So just be very careful with those THS's. So let's look at a real quick example of kind of a combined whole number decimal number, so we can orient ourselves and get a sense of these place values. So let's say we had something like 4529.176. So we have something like this going on. So to label your place values, you're going to find where that decimal point is. So we're kind of in the middle this time. And the number that is immediately to the left of the decimal point, you want to identify that as your ones place first. Then I like to do sorry, bumped the camera there. I like to do the whole number place values first and then kind of mirror image it. So as I move to the left of the ones place, this one's going to be the tens. Then we have the hundreds. And then the 1000s, or just the thousands. On the other side of the decimal point, we have the mirror image. So immediately to the left of the ones was the tens, which means immediately to the right is going to be the tenths. Here we have the hundreds, so this is going to be the hundredths. Thousands, that's going to mirror to the thousandths. And there we go. That's how we can label our decimal place values. So key to this, again, is identifying that ones place by finding that decimal point and then treating it like a mirror for both sides. So that's going to wrap up this video here. In the next video, we will be using this place value stuff to help us name decimal numbers. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in that one. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day, and bye for now.